Welcome back. We just want to recap for you real quick. The sirens are going off. There is a tornado spotted by us weather spotters, so we will keep you informed. Mike is tracking the storms.
That's right, Jody. I want to go ahead and kind of get some latest information out there. We're going to join the World News Tonight just a little bit later, but got a lot of people who are asking questions about what's going on. Again, you heard Bill Britton say that there was a train spotter in the southwestern part of Buchanan County down by 59 Highway that said that they did see a couple of funnel clouds with that, but again, that's something that they have to take seriously. So whenever there's something like that that does happen, they take that information, send it down to the St. Joseph Communications Center. They sound the sirens because it is in Buchanan County. The storm itself is down there, as you can see right now, over off of 59 Highway. So we're on the National Weather Service chat, and we're kind of looking and seeing what they're saying. The report was on the Kansas side by a train spotter, and that was on 59 Highway, KK Highway. So talking with the National Weather Service, again, they said that at 5:26 they did not see any rotation on radar with these clusters of storms. It was probably likely a turbulent motion from a shelf cloud. They've seen videos of that. These clouds may contain winds, but they're saying, now this is the National Weather Service, this is not us, but they're saying they don't see any tornadoes in that storm. So it looks like it's an outflow generated clouds. They're lookalikes, but physically they do not have the conditions to produce a tornado. So that's where we're at right with that. So they're chatting back and forth. The National Weather Service has not issued a tornado warning for us. Now this is clearly just from a spotter that saw something on that storm over on the Kansas side, over by Highway 59 and KK Highway. So that's what we're looking at right there. The National Weather Service is saying that they don't see any tornadoes on their radar. So again, this is something that we're kind of keeping a close watch on now. We do have the rain that's moving into the area right now. That is just out ahead of the storms that were down in the Kansas City area. So again, the sirens, they went off at 5:22. That's when the funnel cloud was spotted. Again, that's they're having a chat between the National Weather Service and, of course, all the emergency managers. And as we had Bill Britton on the phone, he was heading down that way to see what we have going on. So we do have some heavy rain that's coming into St. Joseph right now. Let me just double check on a couple of things.
Mike, do you suggest
yes.
Go to their place?
Well, you know,
in a situation like this.
Well, something like this, you have, you know, what you're looking at on the radar and what you're looking at in person. And a lot of times when we send spotters out, they're going to give us different kinds of information from what they actually see. And so you don't ever want to sit there and doubt the fact that maybe he did see something that looked like a funnel cloud. But we have to match that kind of up with the radar too. And so that's what the National Weather Service is doing. So really, anytime you do hear the sirens, there's usually a pretty good cause for that when you have storms that are moving in. What I always tell people is that, you know, the worst thing you can do is stand there and go and look outside to see if those storms are coming in that way. And so what we tend to do is make sure that you go to your safe place. Jay, they're wanting to ask something with him.
Hear?
Yeah, she doesn't have her IFB in, but I can. Okay, but I'll go ahead and go over there on that one. But good question with that, and so that's why okay. So that's what we're looking at. Let me kind of move around here just a little bit, and that was really pretty quick. And with that, we do have that heavy storm, or strong storm that's moving in there. I'm going to rely on Jade to kind of give me some information with that as we're looking at these storms here as they're coming in from the south and from the west. Officially, we're not under any kind of watch or a warning, but we want to stay on the air with everybody until the sirens go off, because I'm sure a lot of people are tuning in. They want to know what's happening. Hey, we just heard the sirens. I've got about 10 texts that I'm trying to answer with that. And so again, it was right down here, 59 Highway and KK, that, and I can hear the sirens still going on. And with that, they saw the fact that one of the spotters, a train spotter, as if you heard Bill Britton just mentioned before, that they had a train spotter that saw this part of the storm actually looked like it had a few funnel clouds with it. So they reported that in to the St. Joseph Communication Center. They sounded the sirens. We've been chatting back and forth with the National Weather Service, and as of now, right now, they don't see anything on there on the radar with that. And usually when you see something like that, you're going to, the National Weather Service would put us under a warning. I don't know, Jay, do you have any new information that's going on over there?
No new information. They were just reiterating that it was most likely turbulent motion from a shelf cloud, and that these clouds may contain wind, but yes, it is most likely from turbulent motion from a shelf cloud is the last that they've had from the National Weather Service.
Okay, so again, the storm itself is tending to move, and we're getting some heavy rain here in St. Joseph right now, as we've been talking about the fact that we've seen a lot of heavy rain over the past couple of days with this storm system, anywhere from 10 to 15 inches of rain up to the north. So we're trying to get confirmation. Bill Britton's on his way down into that direction to see what's going on with that. But the fact that the National Weather Service hasn't put us under a tornado warning kind of has me a little bit suspect with that. But again, I don't want to, anytime something like this happens, you don't want to step on other people's feet. So, we first of all had the train spotter who said that he saw something as it was moving in, and so they had to go with that, and they sounded off the sirens, and then the National Weather Service will take and they will look at the storm itself to see if there's any kind of rotation in there, and they haven't seen that, so just as of yet. So they're kind of probably talking back and forth with each other. Nick, you were just outside. Is it just heavy rain that we have? Okay. So, but again, a lot of times what you can see with these, sometimes these storms as they develop, they get kind of like a roll feature to them, and it might look like there are a few funnel clouds coming out of that. That's a lot of times that's what happens with those. So that's something that the train spotter did see. And so we're just kind of go with this until we get confirmation from somebody that's going to let us know if there's an actual tornado warning with this. But again, that's why the sirens went off here in St. Joseph. I don't think I've heard them. Well, they're still going right now. Okay, so basically what's happening is the sirens are going off. They're waiting to see. They just want to be on the cautious side, and I don't blame them that at all. As we have with that. I'm going to get a little bit of some information here. Okay, somehow, due to sighting, need to move safe area. Okay. So it's what they're doing is a precautionary because they were sighted. So don't flood the 911. It's precautionary. Don't call 911. Jody and I were talking just a little bit ago too. You just need to get to a safe area. We haven't had the confirmation of a tornado on the ground. Well, it's what they saw down here. From what I'm thinking is that from talking to Bill, the initial storm as it moved in probably looked like it had a few funnels with it, and they called that in to the comp center, to emergency managers, and said, hey, we've got something that looks like a tornado down here. We better alert everybody because that's what we see. So they say that, and then the sirens automatically go off. Anytime there's any kind of a tornado warning for Buchanan County, anywhere in Buchanan County, they'll flip that siren off here, and basically a lot of it is precautionary because if something's down here in Atchison, Kansas, and it's drifting off to the northeast, you can see how quickly that would hit us here in St. Joseph. So probably the best thing to do is to go ahead and get into your safe place, get into your basement, get into an interior room, one that doesn't have windows. A lot of times probably one of the safer places to be is in the bathroom where there's a lot of walls in between everything. Wait for this storm to move by, wait for us to get that confirmation from this, but for sure we're seeing that really heavy rainfall again, which we don't need moving into the area. So again, it's right along that leading edge. I can hear the sirens still going on. My guess is they're going to keep that going on. Is there any kind of chat whatsoever going between the National Weather Service and them?
There's no confirmations of any tornado warnings or watches for the area.
Okay, so we're still not seeing anything that's really coming back saying that they saw anything on the ground with that. But again, a lot of what we do here is you have trained spotters that are out there, and they're looking at the first part of this storm that was coming in, and as it was moving in from the southwest to the northeast, one of the spotters thought he saw maybe a few funnel clouds with that right along 59 Highway and K Highway, and so that's what happened with that. And as you just heard Bill Britton say, that's why the protocol was to sound the sirens here in St. Joseph. Now, we don't have any other confirmation so far as anything else with this storm that's moving through, but we just want to make sure that everybody is kind of keeping aware of what's going on with that. Very heavy rain right now moving through the area. Again, these storms sometimes they'll look tornadic, they'll look like they might have some funnel clouds with it, but it's one of those things where it's better to be safe than sorry, and so I think that's why why they sounded the sirens with that. So we have the front part. This is probably where they saw that what looked like a funnel cloud right over here, and that was down over just to the east and northeast of Atchison, Kansas, and that just kind of ran right up towards us. I want to kind of check a couple of things here real quick and see if we still have that going on, or what do we have with that. Okay, so basically we'll kind of recap there for you what happened. They had at 5:22, they had reports of a funnel cloud forming in the Rushville area per Buchanan County Communication Center, and at that time we weren't under any kind of warnings. It was on the Kansas side by a trained weather spotter, area 59 Highway and KK, and so the St. Joseph Communication Center sounded the sirens. The National Weather Service just replied back and said that they don't see any rotation on the radar with those clusters of storms, but it's likely turbulent motion from a shelf cloud. These clouds contain wind, but they're saying no tornadoes. That's what the National Weather Service is saying. So the information has been relayed on to the Communication Center in Buchanan County, so the National Weather Service thinks that there could be outflow generated clouds, which are lookalikes, but physically do not have the conditions to produce tornadoes. So that's where we're at with that. And as you heard earlier, the protocol with that, when you have that trained spotter that is seeing something like that, they're going to go ahead and send that information into the communication center, who sounds off the sirens. And like we always tell people, that if you are a little bit worried about something like this, I would definitely go ahead and go to your safe place, go to your basement, go to an interior room as these storms move by and we get the all clear. Julie's over there kind of checking to see if we have any new information with that. And really again, I'll go back to the fact that you know, you have these trained spotters, which are great, and they'll look and see something that looks like a tornado, and then they'll pass that information on. But the National Weather Service has not put us under any kind of warning with that, so they're probably taking a very close look at this storm itself as it's moving on by. So that's why the sirens are going off. I don't hear them anymore. I don't know if that's what we have going on. Does anybody hear the sirens anymore? Okay, Ron's going to go upstairs and see if he can still hear those sirens going on. So, no sirens. Okay, so the communication must have come from the National Weather Service. That went back to the communication center, which basically said, hey, here at the National Weather Service, we don't see any rotation with this storm that's moving through. And in fact, here at the station, the rain has basically tended to kind of calm down just a little bit. And in fact, it's moving into southern parts of Andrew County. Really, with that, on the 59 highway, I just want to make sure once this storm moves away from St. Joseph, and in fact, we get confirmation that if we have any other kind of info that's coming in there, Julie, from anything there, but
So far, no other information
other-
is coming in
okay.
just right now.
so nothing really coming in with that. This was something that, we just walked in, and it was just one of those things where we heard the sirens going on. I got the phone call from Bill Britton, Emergency Management. The sirens are all gone. Okay, so I got the call from Bill Britton explaining to me what was seen, what was heard, and that was right down here at 59 Highway and KK. That one of the train spotters saw a funnel cloud. But now it seems that things are tending to calm down just a little bit here when it comes to that storm. There's no warnings around for us at all. Is that what we've got?
No warnings so
No
far.
warnings, okay, and we're not even under the thunderstorm watch. So just as a precaution with that, that's why they sounded off those sirens. So you can see it's just this one cell that was right down here that as it was leading in from the southwest to the northeast, and now that's moved on through. Another area of thunderstorms over near Plattsburgh. I think that this whole area is going to tend to turn off a little bit more to the east, and we'll watch what's going on over here near Holton. So the sirens have stopped. I think it's pretty safe to say that we're out of this warning with this, but it's something that we'll kind of keep a close watch on. Nothing else coming in over there.
No, it looks like the only severe thunderstorm warning is still well down towards the south.
Okay, so well down to the south. So this looks like it's going to turn into a little bit more of a rainmaker. So again, the sirens went off because of a sighting of maybe a few funnel clouds there. Things have tended to become more stable. The National Weather Service has looked at this storm and said that they have seen nothing with it, but it doesn't mean that there wasn't something there. So I'll tell you what we're going to do, Dan, since we don't have any warnings and it looks like everything's kind of tended to fizzle out just a little bit, we're going to go ahead and send it back to regular programming. I think right now you can come back out of your safe place if you're in there. I would probably wait a little bit if you're going to head out anywhere, to the store or whatever, because we do have some heavy rainfall that's coming down right now, and maybe a little bit of some hail with that. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and turn you back to regular programming.